Hey, yo, welcome back to the Expediting Change podcast. I appreciate that you continue to tune in and rock with me. The love I feel is real. You know, in Expediting Change, we keep it a stack and we talk about the positive progression of the culture. So today I have a very special guest with me. I try not to have biases, but you know, when somebody from the town pulls up, when they're in the DMV, we gotta have a conversation. What we're gonna talk about today, even though he has a multitude of skills, I want his opinion on one of the things that I say all of the time. I want him to actually check me on the Expediting Change podcast because I say a lot. It's not necessarily about how much money you bring in, it's how much money can you keep. And I'm not talking about tax evasion. We're not talking about 45 and them doo-doo boys over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about how the rich stay rich and how the wealthy stay wealthy, because the secret's to bringing in the amount of income that you have and keeping it in your pocket and in your bank account.
As I open my mind and try to reach yours, ask myself, why is it you really want to preach, boy?
So today I got my guy Keon with me. Y'all know I like to let them do a lot of talking and then I like to come in. So I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself, talk to the people. Welcome to the Expediting Change podcast, first and last name, and what do you do, bro?
Man, first of all, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's love. It's
Absolutely.
love. My name is Keon, from Buffalo, New York. Moved to the DMV a few years ago. I work in finance primarily, doing like taxes, everything from consulting to like for businesses, like medium, small, and medium size. So I do it all. So yeah, let's get to it.
Let's start with that, man, because I challenge me on that, or tell me I'm wrong, or tell me I'm right. I like to be right too, you know what I mean? But talk to me about that. I fundamentally believe when I'm having these conversations with these young folks, and even folks my age, et cetera, but especially the young folks coming up because they bought the bag, et cetera, but you got the bag, did you keep the bag?
Right.
So talk to me about that statement, like not necessarily how much money you make, but how much money you keep in your pocket.
Yeah, so like it's extremely important. You got like a lot of young cats coming in the game these days, and they making a lot of money. You know, like whether they doing like cryptocurrency, you know, like whether they like buying these assets, like land, houses, like everything. Like these young kids, like 27-year-olds, I know multimillionaires already, but a lot of them struggle with like the tax portion.
Yeah.
It's important that you hire some professional that can understand how to navigate the tax regulations in a way that you aren't just taking advantage. You know, like you're not being taken advantage of. And that's like one of the things I notice about people in our community.
Yeah.
We often are scared that we're scared of the IRS, you know. That's a big thing. Like everybody think that, you know, it's okay to deduct things for your business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
deduct
are scared.
things. What that mean? Tell me. Deduct things. It's okay to deduct things.
Yeah. So like, so if you have a legitimate business, you know, you go through I'll strongly recommend like with people that I work with that having an LLC or like setting up S corporations. We're gonna talk about some of those type of things, but like make sure that you got a business, make sure you actively trying to get revenue into the business and deducting things, basically make it as simple as possible, being able to write off some of like those expenses that's associated with the business. And to like maximize like your AGI, like your
no doubt.
Like your gross income.
So from a tax perspective, like who should I go to? Or, you know, there's always Uncle Google, but the first thing I want to do, because you said make deductions, right? So how do I know what type of corporation to set up to be able to make the proper deductions for my business? And then we can get into what a deduction is and how we do a deduction.
Yeah. That's a very good question. So, so I would just say like, the person that you would go to is you can either go to one or two people. Either you can go to a CPA or you can go to a EA, which is like an enrolled agent. You don't necessarily like there are a lot of people out here in the game, which is crazy to me. Like, mark my words, it's crazy that I find so many people giving like bad tax advice. And sometimes I'm just scrolling like the number one place you don't want to go to is straight to Instagram. Because a lot of these people,
and that's where all the info is right now. Instagram, TikTok. I literally just seen a commercial. It's like, you want to find something out, go to TikTok. I was like, that's crazy.
Yo, it's wild. I'm sitting here I'm listening to like what some of the people are saying, and I'm like, this isn't even good advice. And even like there's a lot of like I would just say other people who sharing information on platforms that sometimes like they'll give like a snippet of it, and it isn't accurate,
Yep.
and they have a large like customer base,
Yep.
you know, that's
Yep.
listening to this. Their audience is large, and it's
Yep.
bad information because a lot of people thinking that they can just like just write off certain things or
Yeah.
set companies up a certain way,
Yeah.
and they're not doing it the right way. And eventually, like, yeah, year one you might be good, you know, year two you might be good. The
Yep.
IRS might say something, but when they catch you,
It's gonna be a problem.
it's gonna be a
It's gonna
major
be a
problem, you know.
So let's talk barriers to entry though, because there is that, you know, that the myths and the thoughts about it, but then also from a practical perspective, how much it costs, right?
Right,
So if we let's take the cost piece first. How do I find an affordable CPA or EA that I actually can trust? Because it can get expensive depending on how much business you're doing. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I feel that finding the right CPA is kind of like if you are trying to find an employee, you should interview these different CPAs to make sure that they fit with your goals. And it's fine to like ask a CPA like, hey, do you mind if I contact one of your like clients,
No doubt.
just so that I could
References.
use the references.
Yeah.
You should definitely have a reference, like their list of references, and go from there. You know, but like Google a few different CPAs and hold interviews with them.
How competitive is the market though? Because if I find a really good CPA that I like, that's close to me, but then they cost a whole lot of money. Like at that point, then what do I do? Because I like this person, they're close to me, but I can't afford to pay them.
Yeah, I think that in life, you know, one thing I learned about business is cost is always negotiable. You can always negotiate the cost.
No doubt.
So I think that if you feel that they're extremely like, it's better to have a CPA that you can trust and you're willing to give up that money, because
Absolutely.
the growth that will happen within your business,
Absolutely.
it'll cost upfront a lot,
Yeah.
but on the back end you're actually saving more.
No doubt.
And everything should be tied to an ROI.
No
you know?
doubt.
So if you are paying a CPA that amount of money, they should be giving you strategic planning, not
Absolutely.
only just bookkeeping and like
taxes at
and
the end of the
taxes.
year.
You know, we should
Absolutely.
be having a discussion like, yo,
Absolutely.
listen. Let's talk about what your goals are for your business. Can we get like 10% growth? You know,
Absolutely.
like let's like what costs can we cut?
Absolutely.
And then also on the forefront, as we like have this discussion, just like strategically, like what's going on in the market right now, what you should be doing, especially with us brinking this like going into a recession, the early stages of it. Your CPA should be talking to you. So like these are things that the people should be around you having these financial discussions, just so that make sure that you're maximizing like the tax advantages
Yep.
during these trying times.
So it sounds like we need to shift from the thought process of I go to a tax advisor once a year to do my taxes
Yeah.
to I have a business, and being associated with my business, there are tax things, tax advantages, tax implications from my business. So this is one of the partners in my business, not necessarily as far as equity is concerned in your business, but you got to have thought partners. And this CPA thought partner is someone that's going to help you navigate some of this craziness out here, from being frank.
Yeah, and you should be talking to them like not only once a year or whenever you got to pay estimated quarterly like tax payments, you know, which is that's like, it's just bad that people don't feel that they can communicate with their person, their financial accountant or their tax accountant about those things. Like you should be contacting them monthly, you know, like checking on them. Hey, listen, these are things that I'm planning to do, because sometimes throughout the year, especially during like the 2020 stage, there was a lot going on. So there was like some deductions that, or like things that people could have written off that the government was like allowing. So like those are things that you should just become constantly communicating with this
that partner.
person.
So expediting change is also about teaching and having these conversations. So I'm brand new to this, right?
Yeah.
So when I hear about these tax commercials, whether it's TurboTax or back in the day, I used to use EG Tax in Buffalo, New York, which is crazy. But my thought process was that it was only once a year, right? So if I'm brand new to this, how do I get my comfort level to ask that question to the CPA? Because what I see advertised normally is, hey, you just need me for this amount of time. So how do I approach that with a CPA and say, hey, here's my budget. Here's what's going on with my financial situation. I need you a few times a year. Like, how do you engage? So tell the people, how do you even approach that conversation? Because someone like me, someone like yourself, it's nothing. You know what I mean? But for someone just starting out, or for someone who don't have that comfort level, and now it's a completely different discussion. How do I break into that? How do I have that conversation with these individuals who I'm bringing in as a partner with me, as a thought partner, and helping?